And that lets you save.
Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green look on.
Welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. As always, I'm your host, True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. On today's show, we've got some exciting guests. We have Thomas and Juan, who are writers and producers of a new documentary coming out called Blood, Berries, and Butter. We have part one of our two-part series coming up right now.
This is Exploring Mind and Body with True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert on 96.5 CKFM. Exploring Mind and Body with True Form Life's Drew Taddia, brought to you in part by Curves Complete, the whole solution that makes burning fat as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get exercise, meal plan, and coaching for $14.95 a week. Call Curves and Olds at 403-556-5992 to schedule a free, no-obligation appointment.
This segment brought to you by Complete Truth Protein Powder. Live free, live true with whole natural foods. No additives, preservatives, soy, gluten, and dairy free. Supplement with superfoods to energize your day. Visit CompleteTruthProtein.co for details.
All right, welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Today we're excited to announce some new guests that are filming a health documentary. So today we have Thomas Reyes joining us, and we have Juan Paredes. Did I say that correct, Juan?
Well, that was really close. Paredes, P-A-E, like A. Paredes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks. All right, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining us. You guys are filming a documentary. So before we get started, I'd like you to let our listeners know who we're talking to. So could you guys tell us about yourselves?
Well, I can start. I'm originally from Colombia. I've been living in the States for the past 16 years and I've done documentaries in the past and also a lot of day jobs before actually committing full-time to documentaries around 4 years ago. This is my full-time job, and this and anything I can do to support myself from project to project.
What other kind of projects do you do?
Well, I did a project with Wade Davis, who's Canadian. He's a National Geographic historian resident, and we followed the steps of his mentor in the Amazon, and it was really good. We had theatrical launch in the U.S. We was broadcasting in Europe. It was a fascinating project, and it actually started, a lot of what this project is about started when I was seeing how the people in the Northwest Amazon are so well adapted to their environment, and seeing the modern world is very different. And I think we've lost a little bit. We are not in the Amazon and we can't live like they do, but we have to find different ways to adapt to the environment that we have today. So that's kind of what gets me started in this project, the old project I did.
Okay, Thomas, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm also Colombian, but have a really multicultural background. I was born in Colombia, grew up in France. I've lived in Brazil, in Japan, and I've been in the U.S. for about 4 years now. I'm a lifestyle and portrait photographer by trade and a filmmaker. And now I've been working with Juan since last year on this project and really, really, really thrilled. You know, I'm very interested in wellness and balance, basically. So this project comes in at a very good moment, and yeah, we've had the chance to talk to all the leaders, you know, in this field. So it's awesome. So
Thomas, I read your biography before we started here. You were into, healthy living, yoga, and does a lot of what your documentary is on have to do with how you live your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm lucky enough to be able to work. That my work has a lot to do with my lifestyle and what I believe in.
I want to talk about a brief intro about what your documentary is on, and then we'll get into the more details about it later on. But if you guys could give us just a baseline or an outline overview of what it's about.
Well, Blood, Berries, or Butter, title of our documentary.
Blood, Berries, and Butter. That's an interesting title. How did you guys come up with that?
Researching Rich Roll, who's a vegan ultra athlete, and Dave Asprey, who's an entrepreneur biohacker. And that's more related to the paleo diet and CrossFit, and has nothing to do with being vegan. It's quite the opposite in terms of what they eat, in terms of the results and the amount of energy, they get. They're pretty similar. So we were doing all that research, and then there was also, so there's like on one side you have the meats, on the other side you have the veggies, on the other side you have the blood types, and how the blood type sort of affects how your metabolism reacts to the foods you eat, right? Certain foods will be apparently more beneficial to type O's or type B's or type A's. They all vary. Blood, berries, or butter sums up a little bit of the contrast between all the...
Yeah, I would say a little bit, I would say the same thing a little bit differently. blood berries for butter. Each one is a different path. One, again, going for blood type diets, berries, which is kind of a way of talking about vegans and plant-based diets, and butter, which is a little bit from Dave Asprey, his whole idea of good fats. And the whole idea is these three paths coexist, and each path works, each path differs, and it's not about excluding one, saying this is the right way, this is the right way, but saying, hey, these are different ways that are working for people and they're out there. So
yeah, because basically we're not promoting one specific diet.
You guys are just showing the benefits of a few different
paths. The benefits
paths.
is like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's all very personalized, right? And no one can tell you how you should eat because it's as personal as it gets. So there are all these incredible people who are very high performing thanks to many things, and one of those things is the food they eat and how they eat it. We want to share that with everyone and show them that there's, no matter how diverging they might seem, they're awesome.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic because everyone finds a different path to success with whatever it is they're doing. But so in the documentary, do you have different examples for blood, berries, and butter? You have different people that living or eating different ways that are finding success in their diets or nutrition lifestyle?
yeah, definitely. We have people, for example, Abel James. He's a huge paleo follower. He's an amazing, awesome guy, and he follows paleo, his own version of paleo. That's a paleo diet. And on the other hand, you have...
He calls it the wild
diet?
Wild diet, yeah.
And on the other hand, you have Ritual, who is a completely plant-powered, right? Plant-powered vegan. And he'll be at the other end of the spectrum because it's completely anti-paleo yet. So that's two spectrums. But you also have people like Dr. Nicholas Berry-Cohn, who has his own diet, which is not paleo, it's not vegan, and it's based on cold water fish and certain fruits and focusing more on disinflammation than the level of weight or anything. So, yeah, different examples. We have a raw vegan chef in New York, and she's, she believes in raw food, which is kind of a different perspective. Each one, interesting thing is their ideas are not only fascinating, they also look awesome. These people we're meeting, they literally shine. And I think there's something going on with the pathway they're following, and it's somehow working insofar that you notice the difference. You notice that maybe it's because they're living what they want to live or what they're eating, but it's people who just shine. Their skin shines. Everything shines about them.
You know what I was wondering when I was listening to you guys talk about your documentary here. Why did you decide to go about this documentary in this way? So we have a number of other documentaries that we'll talk about briefly, but why did you guys decide to talk about blood, berries, and butter in this way?
You know, like the other documentaries out there on food have shown us really well what is wrong with the food industry, let's say. So we want to focus we love food. We love to cook. I've cooked since I was 10 years old, and I was lucky enough to grow up in a household where we didn't eat processed or canned foods ever.
Nice.
Just because we liked natural foods, not because we didn't believe in canned foods or anything. It was just, and we love to cook. Everyone in my family loves to cook. So we want to celebrate the power of food, right? More than anything, and the power food has to make you feel either great and increase your energy levels, or the opposite.
So how did you guys come up with the understanding that there's different ways to go about reaching your goals through these three different avenues per se?
For me, at least, it was a very organic process. I was not feeling well, and I was gaining weight. I was gaining probably 3 pounds a month, just doing nothing particularly bad. And there's a point where you start searching for answers, and first stuff I learned a little bit about intermittent fasting, and I thought, oh, that's interesting, and then that led me into the whole paleo and biohacking stuff. And then Tomas was a lot into yoga, and he was really excited about ritual. And as I learned more, it was more not so much of, oh, I found that I'm paleo and I'm definitely not vegan, or I found that I'm a vegetarian or vegan, definitely not paleo. I was discovering that there were valid points to each one. So it was very rather than being like a master plan, it was a bottom-up process, very organic, in which
absolutely.
become fascinated and saw the results that were happening. I kind of embraced a little bit more and started listening. Sometimes we're too eager to say no to people, and sometimes you just need to listen. And there's a lot of similarities, very interesting similarities between people that you wouldn't think have the same things in mind.
Exploring mind and body with Trueform's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help from the following sponsors: AG Foods in Didsbury, CLC Fitness Center, Health Street in the Cornerstone Shopping Center Olds, and Shoppers Drug Mart, working together to help build a healthier tomorrow. For more information on Trueform Life, Drew Taddia, or how to become a sponsor of Exploring Mind and Body, visit trueformlife.com.
This segment brought to you by Trueform Fitness. For all your health and fitness needs, personal training and group classes available locally. Visit trueformlife.com for details.
You guys must have learned quite a bit about working with different people and how they live their lifestyles. Have you guys incorporated anything or tried things that you see other people are doing that are working for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always interested in food and good food. But then when I tried my first, let's say, 3-day cleanse with green juice and started thinking, wow, it's really amazing that you're getting this nutrient-packed glasses of juice, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's not necessarily a low-calorie, meal, but your system is not digesting all this amount of food and all that. So you kind of hack your own body and experience firsthand all those the increasing energy levels or how your skin clears up. But then I'm not vegan, I'm not paleo, I'm a regular omnivore. I'm experimenting a lot because I haven't really, there's a lot more beyond food as well. Looking at your blood work, there's tons of cool exams people can get done to have a real close look at your body. And
there's also emotions, your family, it's the friends you have around. But it's interesting that a lot of the things that you wouldn't expect, emotions have a big deal to do with it too. So it's an interesting journey.
Thomas, you're talking about juicing. Do you blend also? What's the difference for you to juice or blend? Because that subject comes up quite a bit with me.
A big part of my life I've spent in Colombia, and in Colombia people blend juices, and they put sugar and water, and they make amazing juices, right? But like sugar packed, like big loads of sugar.
Okay.
Many years ago, I just stopped eating so much sugar just because I just didn't feel like it, and fruit tasted just sweet enough, right? But juicing is a whole different experience. Now, Rich Roll, who's a vegan ultra athlete, he uses a Vitamix and he puts everything in there because he doesn't have the patience, he says himself, to cut everything up and put it in the masticating juicer. I have an Omega juicer, which I love, but yeah, you have to do the cutting and because the mouth is really small. But it's a good experience because you can, let's say, my favorite juice will be, 6 leaves of kale, 1 cucumber, 2 green apples, some ginger, some lemon, maybe some beets sometimes, or not, spinach. And then I add some spirulina and then maybe some hemp protein and some chia seeds. And I love it. It's so good. But then you have all the fiber on the side, which you can eat as a salad, because I don't like to throw that away. I put a little bit of olive oil and some lemon juice on top.
It sounds good, though, because I hear that quite a bit with juicing and blending, because, I blend myself, but I know a lot of people juice, but then the subject always comes up about waste and then, of course, fiber. So I think that's a great idea to add that to salads or mix it up and just eat it on the side. So whether it looks or sounds like compost, I think it's a good way. I think it's a good way to go about it.
Don't do the hamburger.
Don't try to do a hamburger with that because it's not nearly as good. I've tried several versions of that, and with one we were experimenting the other day on the road, and it was not very good.
Compost, like when
it's good when it's fresh, and it's cold.
A lot of lime.
You add a lot of lime, some coconut oil or olive oil, whatever you have handy.
It sounds good. I kind of want to juice now just to try that.
So you blend with a Vitamix or with a regular blender?
Yeah, I have a Vitamix and a Blendtec, and I blend every day. I love blending. I'm a big advocate of of having shakes and smoothies to supplement your day. So yeah, definitely. We actually teach smoothie workshops to help people just learn how to get nutrition in their bodies in a short.
Very cool.
I don't like to waste myself, so with your idea of using the foods, more interested in juicing now. My question is for Juan about you were talking about how you wanted to live a healthier lifestyle. Maybe that's how you got into this a little more. But now, so with more extreme diets and that people that you're around, have you found your personal health increase quite a bit because of your surroundings?
Yeah, the environment. The people maybe I haven't spoken to the super guy from the super extreme, but I have. What's been amazing, I guess the big message that I'm taking is, one, you always think you're going to make changes to your health, and it's going to take 6 weeks, 8 weeks to be a change. I think when I started going to the gym about 3 years ago, people tell you know what, you're not going to notice it in 6 weeks. When you start dieting, you got to be patient. But I'm finding out different things because I had a cup of single origin, water washed or water pulp coffee, which is wash processed coffee, and Tomas had the same experience in San Francisco. And this coffee, immediately you feel the difference, and immediately you feel the effect. And as I was thinking about it, I'm thinking, okay, yes, some things take time, but also when you have a drink of alcohol, you feel different right away. So why can't you feel different in a good way? And sometimes when Tomas juiced, and I had some of that, I could feel the difference very quickly. And maybe that's what kind of the lesson is. Little things, if done correctly, can have an immediate effect. And it's the whole Zen thing. Try it out and how you're going to feel about it. And it was really surprising. I was from the old school that if you're going to change your habits, it's going to take forever to feel it. No, you can feel it very quickly.
True Form Life.
That's all we have for you this evening. As always, I'm your host, True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. Be sure to tune in next week for part 2 with our producers of Blood, Berries, and Butter in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. For more on True Form's Drew Taddia, visit trueformlife.com. Exploring Mind and Body with True Form Life's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help of GDK Gravel and Sand. GDK Gravel and Sand, now offering all products in 1/2 and 1 yard bags. Give them a call today for more information. 1-877-335-2091.